And yeah, needless to say about Pratik, yeah, we've been working for quite some time now, and you know, feel free to stop him and ask any questions you have. Do not hesitate because this class is for you guys, right? So, uh, and yeah, we will be recording this session and we will be sending it after the class. Okay? Yeah, go ahead, Pratik.
Okay, yeah. So as she said, at no point hesitate asking questions, because that's what really add the value to it. Because I'm sure she has old videos for a lot of classes, but the real value is really in interacting and asking as much questions as you can. That's what make it interesting as well. So yeah, let's uh, let's do that. Okay. So uh, so I don't know how many people we have. We have around 6 or 8 people, right? So not much. So it's a small group. Now, what I want to understand is how many of you have business intelligence or some kind of analytical background. No one has analytical, and that's fine too. And that's fine too. I just want to understand, who all have worked,
Yeah,
has
I
has
think yeah, Pratik, I think
yeah.
like folks do have some experience,
Okay.
but
So,
they're just waiting to talk. Somebody has to start, right? So Atreya, I see you just
yeah.
unmuted. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, but I don't have analytical experience, so
No, no,
I
it's
just
fine.
held myself back.
No, no, no. So I really what I really wanted to know is if anyone has worked on these kind of not if not Tableau, if some other kind of technologies like MicroStrategy, Cognos, or any other thing.
Yeah, BI
Yeah.
tools. No,
So
I'm
okay,
never got a chance to work on them hands-on experience.
okay, good then. Yep. Okay, good. So what I will start with is that the experience is always good, but it's not really required for learning Tableau. So Tableau is again, I will talk in detail about what Tableau is, but Tableau is a tool which both business community and IT folks use predominantly for doing different kind of things, and it's quite an easy tool. So learning Tableau is not very difficult. We will go through it. Yep. The thing is that you have to understand how visualization works, and it's really an innovative tool. So the value that you will add is by coming up with different visualization and coming up with innovative ideas of how to represent data to a target set of audience. So that's what will add value. Okay, and just wanted to start with that is there's no prior experience required as long as you understand a simple data in an Excel file. You understand rows and columns. That's good to start with. Not that it's enough to land you a job or to get you successful, but that's enough to start learning Tableau and then practice Tableau. Obviously you would have to enhance this skill. Obviously most of the guys who are Indian and who are in USA working in IT would be looking for IT jobs rather than business marketing analyst or finance analyst kind of job. So it will always help you to learn the data warehousing concepts, big data technology if you want, or some kind of SQL expertise as well. Okay, because
Mhm.
that's go hand in hand. But to learn Tableau, these are not the prerequisites. Okay, that's what I want to begin with. I think someone is trying to ask a question. Okay. If not, then let's start with the introduction. So what really is Tableau? So as I was speaking, Tableau is a business intelligence tool. Okay, and it's a good tool. What it predominantly does is data visualization. So there are a lot of business intelligence tool, if you see, and we will talk about it in one of our slides of how the landscape looks like at a high level. But there are a lot of business intelligence tools in the market. This industry is there for last 25 years. So yeah, Tableau it's a comparative, I won't say it's a new tool because I myself have been working for 6 years on this one, but it's a comparatively new kind of technology than the traditional one. You may have heard about Cognos, MicroStrategy, Business Objects, and traditional tools which were very successful in the decade of
Yeah.
2001 to 2010. Now, Tableau was incorporated in 2004, but it only picked up after 2008 recession, and we started using it in 2009. But it's a paradigm shift from those tools, and we will see how. But essentially, Tableau is a is a business intelligence tool which specializes in data visualization. Okay, now let's talk about what makes Tableau special, why there is a market for Tableau, and why it has been growing for last 6-7 years in a great amount. Okay, so first it does great visualization. Okay, so the first thing is it does great visualization. It has unparalleled data visualization capabilities. You can do dashboards, you can do all kind of charts and all that good stuff. So that's one thing, great visualization. Second thing is speed to business. Okay, so as we go in the training, you will realize that the doing development in Tableau is very quick. Okay, so compared to business object or MicroStrategy, you don't have to do a number of things before you try to implement a basic concept. Okay, you don't have to set 100 properties on the right way and to come up with a simple bar chart or something like that. So it's very quick. It basically works at your speed of thought. Okay, so it's really fast, and that matters because business wants fast. Business don't want to wait for 3 months to get something out there. Okay, another thing is that second thing. The third thing really is the cost comparatively. It used to be cheap. It's no longer as cheap as what it used to be 6-7 years back, mainly because of its success and the research and the money they're putting into the research and new development. But it's still comparatively cheap, and the licensing is very straightforward. You get charged for the desktop licenses. You get charged for server. If you buy 10 core server, then you can have unlimited users. There's a cloud offering as well, so if you don't want to invest big, then you can get that as well. So these are a couple of good reasons why there's a market. There is one more thing, why we talk a lot about data visualization and all that. Now, if you and it is not specific to Tableau, to be honest. Okay, so why data visualization is so important these days. So if you see any new tool, any new technology which come up, even the old ones, right? If you see MicroStrategy and other traditional BI tools, they also are coming up with data visualization capability, and some of them have released their visual analytics suites. Like MicroStrategy has Visual Insights. They have one more product launched 2 years ago as well, which it completely talks about data visualization, kind of free as well. The second, there is a SaaS coming up with is separate suite for visual analytics and all that stuff. So so you must be thinking why this is such a big deal, and why everyone is running around it. Any ideas on that? So what makes data visualization so important that everyone is trying to invest in it, and everyone is trying to giving you features to do dashboarding, looking data in a visual way? What's important? Why it is so
That's
important?
interactive because you get a clear, I mean, clarity of visual data is a lot better than
Mm-hmm.
uh,
There is no
uh,
doubt about it. Yep, that
what
is
should I
correct.
say?
Yep.
Words.
So that is correct. There is no doubt about it. Okay, but as you know, visual analytics is not something new. It has been around for ages, right? Probably a century. People have been visualizing the data uh, probably for a century, right? Why it became so important in last 4, 5, 6 years,
Mm,
right? So
because
if you see
compatible.
MicroStrategy was there, business objects was there, and they were there for 10, 15 years, right? So they So they started with late 90s and they were around until 2010 predominantly, right? Why? But I don't think there was any great visualization capability even for 10-15 years. Why do you think it suddenly catch up?
Not sure.
So
It's
I will tell
allowed
you why.
interactivity.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. So if you see the growth of data, okay, so there are a couple of reasons. If you see the growth of data, right? So growth of data is not linear. It has been exponential after 2007, 2008, right? So after coming of mobile phones and Internet of Things and all those kind of things, the growth of data is exponential. So it's exploding. So if you see for yourself how much data you you were generating in total in from 2001 to 2007 or 8, and how much growth of data you had for your in your personal data which you are generating on a daily basis from 2007 to 2016. Okay, right? So
Yeah.
it's exponential, it's not linear. So it's not that you're adding 10 GB per day, or if you see you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you are doing online transactions, you're booking air tickets, you're traveling, all the companies around you are generating the data. All electronic equipments has sensors. There is a hell lot of data which is being generated. And the thing is, previously you do not had capability to store and analyze that kind of data. Eight for last 6 and 7 years, you commercially has that capability in terms of Hadoop and big data. So with Hadoop coming into picture, you have ability to store for cheap storage, and then you have ability to analyze that data as well. Now, coming back to the point, why data visualization catch up? Data visualization catch up because it helps you analyze data in a very efficient manner. Okay, now let me demonstrate that to you with an example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some data. Okay, and I'm going to ask you some question around it. Okay. Okay, all right. So look at this data, okay? I think everyone can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at these three rows, okay? Ignore the rest one. Look at these three rows, month, sales, and weekdays, okay? There are 31 rows in total, not a lot of data, right? Now answer me something. I have a question. Look at this data, analyze it, and answer me which 2 days are the worst 2 weekdays in terms of sales. So this is the sales data for a superstore. Okay, let's say you have a grocery
Yeah.
store.
Monday,
Yep. Two worst weekdays, Monday and
Thursday. Thursday.
Monday and Thursday. Okay. So I think time taken for it is around 10 seconds or 12 seconds, something like that, right? Some people
Yep.
some people to analyze this data, it took around 10 to 15, 20, between 10 to 15 seconds, right? Some people take more than that as well. Sometimes people, guess it in 5 seconds. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this data to a data visualization. Okay. And once it is converted, I will ask you the same question. Okay. So do not count the time to 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 develop the visualization. Once it is developed and in front of you, how much time it take you to analyze the data? That's the question that you have to answer. Okay. And for now, let's not worry about how I developed it. We will be developing a lot of visualizations. For now, just focus on the end results. Okay. Ashri, one question for you. Which version are you using? Have you guys started Tableau 10?
Yeah, so we have 9.2 on our servers,
Okay.
but this weekend we will be updating to 10. You
Okay.
can continue on 10, I would say.
So even I was not, so I think it is released only last month, so even I haven't started using 10, but let's do it. So from what I have read and heard so far, there's not much difference, especially on desktop in terms of future. So they have come up with some new GUI, which obviously I was trying it out for last 2 days, and which obviously I do not like a lot because there's a lot of white kind of screen. I like to use.
Yeah.
I do not know. It's just how users are. They always love the previous version. So, but that's fine. Let's do this from a desktop perspective. I looked at it for last 2 days. I did not find much difference from a feature perspective. There is obviously some difference in terms of look and feel, but that's probably it. More of the features that they have introduced this time is on the server side, and some on on the advanced side. So yeah, let's look at it. So let me show you what I intended to show you. So let's look at a simple data visualization. So this is the data that we looked at. Let's convert it to so this is the data that we were looking at, right? So let's go to sheet 1. Okay, now let's convert this to a visualization. Okay, this looks good. Now let's change it to okay, so now this is the visualization. So this is the same data as what I was showing you, right? Now this is a visualization in term, as compared to the raw data. Now if I ask you the same question, which two weekdays are the worst weekdays? You look and tell me how much time it will take you.
Couple of seconds.
Right away.
It should not take you a couple of seconds. It should be blink of a second, to be honest, because you have color coding, right? So you can see green and red.
Yep.
Right, so it should be a blink of seconds. So the thing which I'm trying to, the point that I'm trying to make is, if you see, this is just 31 rows. Think about it when you have million rows and billion rows, and when you have petabytes of data. It is getting difficult and difficult to analyze the data in a efficient way, and that's where data visualization comes into picture and help you analyze the data and interpret it. So data visualization, again, that's the primary reason it has been catching up for last 6, 7, or 8 years. The facts that you guys raised is that it's clear, it looks more intuitive, it looks beautiful. That's all good. Then that all is an advantage. But that's more of a good to have than rather must have. This now what is happening is data visualization is becoming must have because the size of the data is growing at an exponential speed, and you do not have a lot of good tools and good ways to analyze and interpret the data. So data visualization helps you in a great deal with that. Okay, so now everyone should be clear why data visualization is becoming such a big deal, why everyone is coming up with these tools and all that. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, we already talked about speed to business, so that's another important aspect, and I will reiterate another point. Now you may have noticed that to build this visualization, it doesn't took me a while, right? It took me more, maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes max, right, from scratch. So I opened the software, I bring the data, I then did some drag and drop, and it's there, right? It isn't like that you have to build a universe or catalog in MicroStrategy first to do something, and then you have to set like 10 different properties to set color and then space and width and all that stuff. So right, so it didn't took me any great deal of time to build it, right? So that's speed to business, and that matters, because what typically happens is that for any given task you would be given some time, right? And when you complete that task probably before that time, you would have opportunity to explore and then come up with the best possible solution. So that helps there. So typically what happens is the solution, the end result is always the best, and you deliver it fast, and business no longer has to wait 3 months to get a report out. So typically in the last decade, what used to happen is, this business intelligence and data warehousing industry was very stable one. So you had a big data warehouse, you had MicroStrategy or business objects reporting, reports going out in an email fashion. People used to look at it once a month, once a quarter, probably once a day, and yeah, that's pretty much what used to happen. Okay, but nowadays it has become very active. People come up with a lot of ad hoc questions. It's not that once a report is there, it's going to live for 10 years, nothing like that. There's a lot of ad hoc analysis which is required, a lot of changes which are very frequent in nature and driven by business. So you really need to catch up, and the technology also needs to catch up, okay, which was missing in the tools that we had in last decade. Okay, so enough bragging about Tableau. Any questions before we continue? Okay, all right. So this
Hey,
is just,
one second.
yeah.
Um,
Sure, go ahead.
hey, Pratik, just for a second. Hey, Shalini, you there?
Yep, I'm there.
Okay. Are you having any issues with the call and all?
Yeah, exactly.
You.
Yeah. I had the
Okay.
delay.
Now it is fine,
display.
right?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Please go ahead, Pratik.
Okay, yep. All right. So this is something that I was just talking about, right? So you may have heard about Tableau maybe last couple of years, but the company is around for more than 12, 13 years now. And if you see this is a very old list, I believe. This is a list which I took probably back in 3, 4 years back. So the customer base has grown a lot. All the big customers, all the big companies, Fortune 500 companies are Tableau's customer. Google uses it, Yahoo uses it. It is Facebook's one of primary business intelligence tools. So and everyone in Facebook has publishing rights. Everyone has, most of, not everyone, but most of the people who deals with data has Tableau offered to them like an Excel file. So it is pretty much used like an Excel file, or as a PowerPoint presentation, and given to everyone to play with data and come up with something that they can. Okay, so yeah. Another thing is, this is Gartner's Magic Quadrant, and apologies, this is kind of an old one, but it hasn't changed a lot, I believe, in terms where Tableau is positioned. So has any one of you looked at this Gartner Magic Quadrant for last year or probably this year? Or are you aware what this Gartner Magic Quadrant is, other than she? I'm sure he is, but anyone other than him? Okay, so Gartner is basically a rating company. It's a United States based company, and they are into business of rating companies based on different parameters. So this particular picture that you're looking at is for business intelligence vendors, the companies who are like Tableau, MicroStrategy, and business objects who are into this business. So basically, if you see, the market is positioned into 4 different quadrants. Okay, they have, you can see it as a rank. Okay, they have yeah, so they have basically niche players who are pretty new. Okay, who are pretty new. They have challengers who are coming up pretty quickly in the market. They have leaders, and then they have visionaries. And if you see, this is, it has two axes, basically x-axis and y-axis. So basically y-axis is ability to execute and completeness of vision. Okay, so basically if you see, leaders are someone who has both the things. They have a great ability to execute and a great vision. Okay, completeness of vision. So sometimes what happens is a tool solves a specific purpose, and that's probably it, right? But that's not something that a big company like Facebook or Google would want to have, right? They would they would want to invest in a product which which gives them everything that they are going to use, right? So let me give you an example. So if you see Alteryx, right? So Alteryx is a tool which is a business intelligence tool as well, and that helps you with geographical analysis, right? And it helps you with something to do with data blending when you work with a variety of data sources. So those are the two things that they target, and they have a specific market. They aren't, it isn't like an enterprise tool, and they don't offer them as enterprise tool, and they're happy. They don't want to compete with it. So that's what I'm talking about. Basically, if you see the leaders, so this is the overall market, right? And everyone has a market. But if you talk about the leaders, right, which has enterprise capability, that those you will find it in leaders. So you have Tableau, you have Click Technology, you have Microsoft, you have IBM. IBM owns Cognos, that's why it's here. You have SAS, you have SAP, you have TIBCO, Oracle, MicroStrategy, and all that stuff, right? So this is the typical market landscape that you have these days, and yeah, these are the companies that you would hear about when you're working in this industry. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We'll talk about Tableau's architecture in a bit. Let's just talk about Tableau products. Okay, so you may have heard about one. I'm sure you may have heard about one of these products, and especially about Tableau Desktop. So Tableau Desktop, I think everyone knows what it is, but has anyone heard about any other uh, tools which are listed here? And I'm sure you may have questions around, what's the difference between reader, what's public, and all that. Okay, if yeah.
I know about Tableau Desktop and
Hmm.
Tableau Server, I think.
Tableau Server. Okay. Anyone know about Tableau Reader or Tableau Public?
Yeah, Tableau Public, where you publish your links, right? Where
Mm,
you publish your dashboards, I
yeah.
mean company's dashboards, which is
Okay.
like you
Well,
can view them and you
yeah,
can download, you can like just publish yours and
sure.
read them, but you cannot edit them yourself. You have
Yeah.
to.
So let me just explain this. Okay, so never ever publish. I'm sure I know what you mean, but just I will just correct you a bit. Okay, so never ever publish your company's dashboard on Tableau Public. I think what you are talking about is Tableau Server. Okay, and Tableau Public is different. So Tableau Public is something which is open to everyone, which is public by nature. So if you publish anything there, it by definition it will become public. So never publish any company's confidential information there. Now let's talk about the products in detail. Okay, I think Tableau Desktop, everyone understand what that is. So Tableau Desktop is the main and the primary software that Tableau offers. Okay, and basically it is the software that you install on your machine. So if you see, I have this Tableau. This is the Tableau Desktop. That this is if you see, this is installed on my machine. So I have Tableau 10, Tableau 9.1 as well. So this is installed on my machine as we speak, right? So this is what is Tableau Desktop, and this, as you can see, this is used to create data visualization. This is used to develop the Tableau components that we will learn in the training. Okay. Now, you may have also heard about Tableau Server. Let's go to server in a bit. Let's first talk about Tableau Reader. So Tableau Desktop, everyone is clear. Now, what is Tableau Reader? Anyone, any ideas? Okay.
So that
Yeah.
will allow you to open and read a twv.twv
That
file.
is correct. Yep, that is exactly what it does. Yes, that is exactly what it does. So Tableau Desktop, as you can see, you can create a dashboard, you can create a report file, right? You can create a business intelligence report, a dashboard, and you can save it, right? And what, but again, as I said, Tableau Desktop is a licensed product. There is a cost to it. Okay, right? Now, what what happens is you may have 10 developers and you may have 100 consumers or business users, right? Now business users or consumers not always edit the report, right? They look at it, they interact with it, but they are not typically someone who will edit it, right? So Tableau Reader is an offering from Tableau. Okay, it's an offering from Tableau which is free of cost. Okay, and what happens is it's something that a end user can install on his machine or desktop or laptop, and if he has it, and if you send him the report file, the Tableau file which you have developed, he would be able to open it, he would be able to interact with it. So if there are any filters, if there are any prompts or any links there, he would be able to interact with it in a way you have developed it. Okay, the only thing is he or she will not be able to edit it or do anything to edit it, which is fine in most cases. So this is something which is a free offering, and basically that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's what Tableau Reader is. To share, if you see, it's for share for anyone. Now let's come to Tableau Server. Okay. Now what is Tableau Server? I think some of you, I'm sure, have an idea, right? One lady just described. She was describing Tableau Public, but I think the experience she was telling was more for Tableau Server. Anyone else know what Tableau Server is? Okay, so the Tableau server is exactly what the lady was describing for Tableau Public. So Tableau server is a place where it's a server basically where you go and publish your reports. Okay, and why you publish your reports? You publish your reports so that it becomes a web report. So right now, if you see, this is a physical desktop report. What you can do is you can publish it to server. Okay, and once you publish it to server, you will get a web URL which you can share with your users. Okay, and your users then will not need any Tableau Reader or any tool to be installed on their machine. They simply have to go to a web browser and then copy paste and copy paste that link, and that will be it. Okay, that will be it. So basically, now the question arises, if now the thing is, Tableau server is probably the most expensive Tableau product, and you really have to invest big if you want to use Tableau server. And it's basically the cost is big. Okay, it's not something that comes cheap. Okay, now the question that you should have now is, when I have a free offering from Tableau Reader, why do I need Tableau server in first place? Do you have that question?
Probably here they can even edit.
No, if you want to edit, then you can have Tableau desktop, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what
But
I'm saying is
you have
Tableau
to,
server is for collaboration. It's for sharing, right? It's for sharing what you have done, right? So once you publish, it becomes a web report, and basically your end user will have a interactive experience, but that you have in Tableau Reader as well. So why would you invest in Tableau server is the question.
to reach out to the whole organization and
Correct. So that is one correct answer, but not the most important one. So that is certainly one of the correct answer, because you can't have all the, so let's say if, a report is for 3,000 people, you can't have 3,000 people installing Reader and then do all that stuff, right? So that's not practical in first place. So that's correct. That's one of the reason, but not the primary reason. And anyone think of a primary reason? Okay, let me give
have
you.
a collective,
Go ahead.
I mean, like a, how should I say it? To store all the reports of the organization at one place.
That is also correct. Yep, that is also correct. Organizing. That is also correct, but again, that is not the primary reason.
Okay.
But that is certainly correct. So you need something at an enterprise level, and
Like a
yep,
repository,
and
yeah.
you need some practicality. So both the points are very valid and they are correct. But again, they're not the primary reason. Okay, and so you would want to invest in server for the two reasons which have been highlighted, but there is a more important reason than that. Can anyone think of it? Okay, so imagine a scenario. Okay, imagine a scenario that so for if you want to, so maybe this is something which I didn't explain very well. Okay, so how would a Tableau reader be used in a typical environment? So basically what will happen is someone, let's say you are a developer and you have 5 users. Okay, so you develop a report, right? You save it on your physical machine, right? So when you develop a report, see this, so I built this report, I will have to save it as TWB or TWX, right? I will have to save it as TWB, or so you will have to save it as TWBX on your machine. Okay, okay, and let's just save it, right? So this is report test. I'll save it, right? Now how Tableau reader works is you have to somehow share this report which you have built. So if you see my desktop, which is ugly, but there is this report, right? So this is a file, right? I have to copy it and I have to send it to I somehow have to share it with those 5 users somehow. Okay, now I can do that possibly by sending it over the email. I can do it probably by putting it on some SharePoint which they have access to, or I can simply put it on some Windows shared folder, right, which we all have access to, right? So these are the ways which I can share it with them. But what's the problem with it? So the problem with it is once you share this file with so let's say once you share this report with those 5 users, you have no control what what those 5 users will do with that report, right? So imagine that it's a financial report, right, which talks about company financials, and it's a confidential report. It shouldn't be seen by your competitors and all that, right? Would you want that report to be exposed? Because in case of Tableau reader, you really have no control as to what those 5 users will do once they have that report physical with them. You really have no control in that scenario. So basically so it is similar to an email. Once you send an email to someone, you don't know what other person is going to do with that email. He can send it to 10 different people. He can do whatever he wants, right? Unless you have some other tracking mechanisms, right? So basically the problem is you are not able to control the data that way, right? Now problem with that is this is not a simple problem, because especially in developed countries like United States, UK, and these kind of countries, you have very strict privacy law, data privacy law, and personal laws. So if you and I will give you examples. I can give you real-time examples as well, but especially the healthcare. If you talk about, so financial laws are one thing, healthcare laws are another thing. So if you expose pharmacy data, or someone's personal healthcare records, losing a job would not be that bad. You could in fact end up losing, be in jail. It's that serious. Okay, so the data privacy and data security is is at most important. You really have to protect the data that you are dealing with if you are working in healthcare industry or financial industry. Especially it's important everywhere, but I can tell you from experience that healthcare, pharmacy, and banking is one. It's very serious. They take it very seriously. Okay, so basically what Tableau Reader doesn't provide us is a couple of things. It doesn't provide us data security, right? It doesn't. So that's one thing that Tableau server solves. So in Tableau server you have you have capability to secure your data using AD groups. You can basically organize your data, and you can provide access to the people. And not only that, you can always have it tracking that who is looking at the report, who is getting the subscription, and what they're doing with the report. Are they downloading it, are they just viewing it, and all that good stuff. So you have controls in place to secure the data. Okay, sometimes you even want that even with one report you want a one. So let's say you have a report which is out for 3,000 store directors, but you only want one story director to view only his report. Sometimes you want such level of complex or level security. So those kind of things are also possible in Tableau server, which you can't do in reader kind of setup. So that's the most important reason why you would want to invest in server, and why most big organizations invest in server. Second thing is, so the other 2 points were valid. So basically there is, so you would want to have your reporting in one place. You want some organization to be in place, right? So if there are, let's say, marketing reports, you would want all the marketing reports to be in one place. All the marketing users should get access to it by default, something like that, right? So you would want that as well, right? The third thing is so there are some automation features as well in servers, right? So for example, let's say there is a sales dashboard that you want to send out every morning, before the executive team comes into office. So you can put subscriptions using servers, which will send out canned reports to the executive community for that dashboard, right? You can do those kind of things as well. So those are the primary reasons why you would want to invest in servers. And obviously, it's, if you are a big organization, you don't want to live sending emails to 3,000 people and then making sure data is in sync and all that stuff. So yep. So those are the kind of reasons that you would want to invest in Tableau server, and you would not want to go with ad hoc kind of stuff with Tableau Reader. But Tableau Reader is especially important when you are exploring Tableau, when you do not have, let's say you are a startup, you only have like 10 people in the company, and there's a great deal of trust between each other, right? When it's 10 people, then you can manage it. It's not that big of a problem, right? So, yep. Any other questions on Tableau server? Okay. So now let's talk about Tableau Online now. Okay. So what is Tableau Online? So as I was speaking, Tableau server is not something that comes cheap. You have to invest big if you want to have a server, and that is something that typically big organizations do, which have like thousands of users, or possibly, yeah, more than 1,000 of users. Okay. Now, and so these were the only products which used to be there until some years back, I think 2012 or 13. Okay. Now in 2012-13 they realized a need that a company with even 10 or 15 people would also want security, right? So as I was telling you, right, if you are not in healthcare or financial, and if you are a small company, you could have lived just by a reader for some time, right? But if you are in that business, right, or if you are serving those customers, right, who are healthcare or financial or those kind of people, uh, even with 10 people you would want security, right? And investing that big of an amount, so Srini might give us an insight of how big of an amount it is to buy server license, but again it's expensive. Now with So that's the reason why Tableau Online comes into picture, and Tableau introduced a new product called Tableau Online. This is simply a cloud offering of Tableau server. So essentially it's a pay per user kind of license. It's named license for per use. So let's say if you have 5 people in your company, and if you want unlimited storage and limited CPU power, Tableau will provide you that on the cloud, on their private cloud, and you wouldn't be required to do any maintenance or any that kind of stuff. The backups and all that stuff will be taken care by Tableau on demand. Okay, and all you would be doing is publishing it and sharing the reports with your users, and you will have the security that I just spoke a few minutes back. Okay, so so you understand what's Tableau Online and what's the difference and what's the use case of having Tableau Online versus Tableau Server, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? Okay, all right. So that's that. Now let's talk about the last thing which you see on the slide here, which is Tableau Public. Okay. The Tableau Public is basically two softwares. Okay, basically you have Tableau Public Desktop and then you have Tableau Public Server. Okay, and if you compare them, Tableau Public Desktop is exactly similar to Tableau Desktop. Okay, there are only one or two small differences that you have. Okay, what Tableau, so I will tell you the intention why we have Tableau Public. Okay, so Tableau Public is like a social network. It's like a blogging kind of platform where people come and they can blog about their visualizations and all that. So it's free to everyone. You can download. You can go to Tableau Public website and you can download the Tableau Public Desktop, free of cost. Okay, and basically Tableau Public Desktop has the same function as it has exactly the same functionality as Tableau Desktop. Okay, the only difference is you cannot connect to variety of complex data sources. So if you see here, this is Tableau Desktop, and if see here, yeah, so if you see here, this is Tableau Desktop, and I have ability to connect to a file, right? And then I have ability to connect to a hell lot of complex data sources. So I can connect to Hadoop, I can connect to Oracle, Microsoft SQL, and whatnot. So you have a lot of options here, complex connectors here, right? Which are typically used in a corporate or an enterprise setup. Okay, so this is for real business use. Okay, now what Tableau Public Desktop is it's more for a hobby kind of use, where if you are a data visualization enthusiast, you can develop visualization on public data. There is a lot of public data available. There is a lot of journalism journalists who do data visualization to elaborate certain kind of things. So if you want to do that, you can use Tableau Public Desktop, and by definition whatever you publish is public by nature. So never ever publish your company's confidential information on Tableau Public, because it will become public by definition. Okay, so essentially Tableau Public Desktop is essentially similar to Tableau Desktop, except for a few things. One is you cannot have connection to a variety of data sources. Another difference is that you cannot save a physical file. So if you see, I saved this sometime back as report test, and I saved it on my ugly desktop. You can't do that with public. This public works because they want whatever people are building to be on their public server. Okay, so that everyone can see and leverage it. So by choice, they don't have an option to let you save it on your desktop. You have to save it always on the corresponding Tableau Public Server. So Tableau Public Server is an interface where you can publish your Tableau Public Desktop reports for free. Okay, but by definition they becomes public. That's the catch. Okay, so you can use it, but remember, don't use it for any professional work, okay, or any company work. Use it for learning Tableau. Use it for if you are an enthusiast, then use it to develop visualization. Share it with world, share it with your friends, share it on Facebook, and do all that kind of stuff. But let's not use it for business. Clear what Tableau Public is and how it is different?
Yeah.
Okay, but exactly, if you want to use it for training purpose, and if you don't have license for Tableau Desktop, you can download Tableau Public Desktop and you can go ahead and start using it. So as long as you're using an Excel file and as long as you're using it for training, I don't think there is any great difference to have desktop. Okay,
Is it there for Mac as well?
is it there for
Mac?
I don't know for sure. The Tableau Desktop Professional, that the licensed version is definitely there for Mac. I don't recall if they have it for public for Mac. I think they have. They released it last year, but I may be wrong. Just Google it. You will find it if it's there for Mac.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I'll check.
So they
Okay.
came up with the Mac version with Tableau 9. I don't recall if the public was also introduced. I just don't recall it. Okay.
Okay, no worries.
I use a Windows laptop, and I had a Mac, but even on that Mac I had at that time Tableau does not used to offer a Mac version. So
Tableau.
I had a VM over which I had Tableau installed and I was using it. So yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it by about Tableau products. So yeah, now let's talk about yeah, we have some time, so let's talk about this. Or do you guys have any questions? We can cover it tomorrow as well. Do you guys have any questions that I should answer first? Any questions, whatever you have heard about Tableau today. So today was really an introductory session, okay, and I really want to talk about what Tableau is, how it comes into picture, and what it does, what are the basic things, and all that kind of stuff. We will start with our hands-on training from tomorrow. But any questions you have before I take on this architecture thing?
Just curious, Pratik, not
Mhm.
really particularly about Tableau, but in the Gartner quadrant you showed and you spoke about Alteryx, right?
Yeah.
So Alteryx has its own data visualization part as well, like Tableau, or it
So
is just
no,
data blending. It is more of a
no.
data blending.
So I haven't. So I have seen it in one of my company. I haven't professionally used this tool. Okay, and in my company,
Okay.
they were predominantly using it for two things. They were using it for blending different data sources, and then they were using it for some geoanalytical analysis. So essentially, they had
Mm-hmm.
a few. Few stores. Okay, they had few stores, and they wanted to put it on map, and compare from where the customers are coming, and then how the shrink is happening, and something related to advanced analytics on a map. That's what they
Okay.
were using for. So it has some visualization capabilities, but I don't think it is anywhere close to Tableau or ClickView. Also,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, also I did not talk about the other two tools. So Tableau, as you know, right? So basically, Tableau is, if you see Tableau's market is predominantly in the data visualization space. Okay, there are
Right.
two another tools also which are close competition to Tableau in this space. First one is ClickView, and another one is Tipco Spotfire. Okay, so these are the two tools. When we talk about data visualization, these two tools are something which are a close competition to Tableau. Okay, ClickView is, I think ClickView is the oldest of these three, and ClickView was very successful as well. But I think they did some architecture related changes, I think 3-4 years back, and Tableau was going on with its own pace, and and I've used ClickView as well. But ClickView again is, it's a good tool, and it has capabilities as well. But again, their management kind of messed it up with the product, so it didn't. It is there in a lot of organization, but it didn't grow as Tableau grew. Then Tipco Spotfire had. I never really liked that tool. It has some analytical and statistical advantage over Tableau in I think 4 or 5 years back, but it's no longer there. So yeah, I don't think that's a close competitor. But ClickView used to be a close competitor. Is still a good tool. Okay, but with Tableau, the good thing is it's again. So you have great visualization in all these three tools, but the intuitiveness and then the ease of development that I find in Tableau, I do not find it even in ClickView to that extent. So it is really that easy in Tableau, and basically all you have to do is focus on the data visualization and how to represent data rather than how you will develop it. So developing part is not that big of a deal. What you will do is a big deal. Okay, behind how you, and how the data should be represented is focused here. So business is the focus here. So yeah, just
Okay.
something that I missed explaining. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that helps.
So
I mean,
let's.
we know our competitors, so that is better.
Yep, sure. So now let's talk about last thing for today's class, which is Tableau's architecture. Okay, so that's a typical architecture that your Tableau operates in. Okay, so let's start with the top. Okay, so on the top here you see data warehouse. You see data marts, files, and cubes. And by the way, when anyone explain architecture in any training, we get bored. So what I wanted to tell you is that this whole diagram is not complex as you would think. Okay, so just hear me out. Okay, so on the top, what you have is a different variety of data sources your company or your organization may have. So your organization will have data warehouse. It may have different department data marts. You would always be dealing with flat files, Excel files, and all that stuffs. And many a times you will have cubes as well. Cubes, or you may have hierarchical databases like Hyperion or those kind of things as well. Okay, so that's the typical landscape. Tableau as a software will be dealing with when it works, right? So think, and so that's that. Okay, now look at the second layer. You have SQL connector, you have MDX connector, and you have data engine. Okay, now this is all internal to Tableau and you will not have to really deal with it, but it's always good to know. Okay, so you have SQL connector. Now where would SQL connector be used? SQL connector would be used wherever you have RDBMS and wherever you have databases which supports SQL. So if you see this, there are a variety of data sources, right? Not all the data sources uses SQL connector, right? So if you talk about this, right? Where is Hyperion? There should be Oracle. Yeah, Oracle S-base, right? Oracle S-base is Hyperion. They changed the name, but it's the same thing. So it's a hierarchical database. Okay, Oracle S-base. I do not know if you have seen a hierarchical database, but they are used in finance space, and they're not like RDBMS. So you do not have like entity relationship there. You not have one to many and many to one. You always have so basically in a hierarchical database, what you have is you have details at the end. They all roll. So basically you have accounts, right? So basically one account rolls up to 10 accounts. Those 10 accounts will roll up to 100 accounts, but every time basically one, and there will always be many to one relationship. Okay, so many accounts will roll up to one accounts. Okay, it will never happen that one account belongs to many parent accounts. It will never happen in a hierarchical database. So it's kind of a bit different, and it's more like a cube structure. Now to read this kind of thing, if you are aware, basically you need MDX query language. So MDX is a similar kind of query language with SQL, not that popular, but is still is there. So you have MDX connector to work with those kind of things. So what data warehouse is, data mart, you would have SQL connector. Then you will have, for cubes, interacting with cubes, you will have data engine. For connecting with Hadoop and all, you will have different kind of technologies. To connect with Spark, you will have different kind of technologies. So if you see this layer, the second layer which I'm talking about is used when you connect with one of these databases, right? And it depends what kind of database you have selected, and Tableau automatically basically uses one of the underlying technology to connect with it. Okay, now what Tableau also have is, and let me demonstrate, I will probably demonstrate you that first thing tomorrow, is data engine. So Tableau has an in-memory capability as well. So if you see this, if you see the example which we were working with, right? So if you see the example that we are working with, we connected to an Excel file, right? And right now what we have is we are connecting to that Excel file. If we change something in Excel file, it will, so let's change something in this Excel file. Let's make it 50. Okay, let's save it, right? And if I refresh this, I will have a, I should have a different result. I don't know if I get it, but let's try it again. Does anyone see 50 here?
No.
Even I don't see it, so I'm not sure if it's saved. Okay, let's make a couple of things 50 here. Let's try to refresh it. I don't know why this is not refreshing, but yeah, for some reason this is not refreshing. I'm not sure. Okay, let's refresh it here. Not sure what's wrong. It may be a bug with this new version, that could be the case, but as typically this should refresh. Okay, so this is a live connection. So there are two kind of connections. If you see, there is a live connection, there is an extract connection. Okay, so when it's a live connection, typically this should, yeah, so basically when it's a live connection, this should refresh. This should refresh automatically when you press when you press this refresh button. Okay, I don't know why this is not happening. It could probably be related to bug, but that's how it used to work. Okay, now, so you see the live connection. There is another way, another mode, which is called as, if you see, yes, there is another thing which is, just a minute. Yeah, there's another thing which is called as extract here. Okay, so what Tableau provides you is, it provides you a capability to extract the data which is there. Okay, I'm sure if we extract, this will probably, refresh, but let's try it out. If not, then there is something wrong with this version. Okay, so let's go back to your sheet and then let's extract this out. Well, it's still not changing. Something is wrong. Let me look at the file again. Not sure what's wrong because the file is clearly updated, but it
Hey
is,
Pratik,
yeah.
there was one more file on desktop. So I think that is the one you are referencing here, but you went to a different one, I think.
Oh, is it? I didn't realize it. So, okay, let's try it on desktop then. Okay, that may be the case because it's kind of weird. It doesn't happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's nothing in
Let's change.
desktop,
Yeah,
right?
let's change it in
Oh
this.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the third one.
this is the one. So let's change. Yeah. Yeah, because extra, so live I can understand, live didn't work, it may be a bug, but even extract is not working. That is a serious issue for Tableau to not
Yeah,
find out. So a major, that's a major release. It's not something like, point one or something. So
that is true.
fine. Yeah, let's try it out. So let's go there and now we'll have to, yeah, let's refresh it. Let's see. It's still not. Let me just check where is it's coming from. So just give me a minute. This is okay. So this we took from the desktop. not sure what's wrong with it. Okay, I will look into it. What's wrong? I'm probably not using the correct source or something like that, but this should work. Okay, and the point that I was trying to make is basically you have two modes. You have you have an in-memory capability as well. Okay, so you have a live memory and you have an in-memory capability, which comes from this data engine. Okay, so what you can do is you can extract the data. You can extract the data from whatever source you are working. It doesn't work with cubes or hierarchical databases, but it works with typical databases. It works with big data technologies. It works with flat files and files like Excel. So essentially, the data that you are seeing right now on my screen, I have an ability to create an extract out of it and put it inside Tableau's data engine. Okay, so that's Tableau data engine. And then when we talk about server, we had an we'll have a capability to put it on server as well. Okay, so what that does is that, and it's subjective to what how it is designed, but in most cases it is used to enhance your performance. Okay, because it's native to Tableau, it doesn't have to go and query the database and those kind of things. Okay, that's how Tableau deals with data. The third layer here is VisQL compiler, and that stands for visualization query language. It's a VisQL is basically a technology that was incepted in Stanford University, and basically this is the query language which converts data to visualization. So all the visualizations that you see, the conversion of data to visualization happens using this particular technology. It's an open source technology and that Tableau has been using. Okay, and when we talk about user interface, now from a Tableau's perspective, user interface could be multiple. Okay, so if you see here right now, right, this is a user interface. So what you see is a user interface, right? I'm making a connection here to an Excel file, right? Now this Excel file, so Tableau is making connection to this Excel file which sits on my desktop, right? That is done using this data engine, right? So basically there is an Excel file, data engine gets the data for me in Tableau, VisQL compiler converts that data to a visualization, which in my case is heat map, and then user interface, right? Now in my case user interface is desktop, but in other cases it could be a Tableau server link, it could be a Tableau public, or it could be a Tableau mobile as well, right? You can have it on in a mobile or on a tablet also. So user interface could be a variety of other sources where you can see the data. Okay, so that's what is this architecture is about. And that's how typical Tableau works in enterprises. So it connects to different data sources. It uses one of these technologies to deal with data. Then VisQL compiler basically converts that data which Tableau has brought in using data connector to visualizations, and then you throw it on to a user interface, which could be Tableau desktop, it could be a Tableau, a web URL of Tableau server, it could be mobile, it could be on mobile or a tablet as well. Okay, so that's how our Tableau typically works. So that's pretty much it about introduction. I'm open for any questions that you want to pose before we wrap up, and then from tomorrow onwards we will start with so this is how we will be doing it. So we will learn the visualizations that Tableau offers typically, the basic visualizations, and some small, some advanced visualizations that Tableau offers. Then we will move to calculated fields, table calculations. Okay, how you can come up with derived calculations in Tableau. Then we will look at table calculations. We will look at dashboarding, how dashboarding work, and then we will look at stories in the end. Okay, which was introduced, I believe, in Tableau 8, which is there since Tableau 8. So dashboarding is there since the inception, but stories only got introduced from Tableau 8. So look at that. Okay, and then we will look at some other advanced concepts like parameter and data blending as well. But before we go there, we first have to learn the basic visualizations, how to develop basic visualizations, and when we use them, what are the use cases when we use them, what the differentiator when we will use a bar chart versus a pie chart and things like that. We have to first learn the basic building blocks. So that's pretty much it from my side today. Now I'm open for any questions that we have in this forum.
Hey, Srilata, you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, any questions?
Yes, we'll be connecting to different databases, right? I mean, like Oracle, SQL, MySQL, something like that. We are connecting directly. Do we need to set up before, or directly we can connect to the database?
So typically, the trainings that I do it on one of my custom data that is prepared in Excel file. So I can provide that data to you, and you can basically, if you have database with you, you can put it on a database in I think 3 different tables. Okay? But that's pretty much it. The joins and everything works similar in all the relational databases as and Excel. So from a training perspective, there is not much difference of joins between databases and Excel. So I will use Excel, but you feel free to put it on a database, and basically we will look at. So once you do that, if one of the person in the team does it, we will look at it, how it is done, and if there are any other things that you want to, if you have questions, then we will cover that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, in the Srilata, like in our data center, we do have Oracle and SQL Server. So there are some test database stored in there. So, as Pratik mentioned, it's a similar concept. You connect to a database or an Excel. But to answer your question very precise, yeah, to connect to a database, you don't need any additional things. For some databases you need some drivers, but it's pretty much just pick a database and put the server name and username, password, or credentials, and then you pick the tables and join.
Okay. And no initial setups and everything required. Directly we can go to the username, password, and directly we can connect.
Yeah. So again, let me just clarify something. Let me just clarify a bit here. Okay. So again, so what I'm not trying to say here is that you will not need database expertise and knowledge. Okay. What I'm saying is you will not need that expertise to learn Tableau. Okay. Now, obviously, that is important. If when you work in real-time projects, you would be dealing with a lot of complex views, right? You will be dealing with some various ETL things, or sometimes maybe not. Okay, and sometimes you will hit performance issues. Okay, if you work in like a real IT business, but that's basically different skill altogether. So you have to learn that skill, but that's not important to learn Tableau. Okay, and that skill that doesn't help to learn Tableau also. Now, if you have database experience or SQL experience, that will help you, improve the performance or do some things differently from from a technology perspective. But that's not really a core part of Tableau, and that's why don't focus much on that. I focus more on the visualization side of it. I focus more on the features of Tableau rather than going into the database concept. So the database concepts are equally important, but that's just another side of the picture. Okay. So, and that will work in any technology, not just Tableau, but in any other technology. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
All right then. So let's meet tomorrow again, same time, and let's start hands-on from tomorrow. So everyone has. Srini she just want to check. Everyone has desktop installed, or someone will have to
Yes. So
public.
no, yeah, everyone will have a desktop by tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, so
So
that's good.
I will get them the data center access, so they have Tableau desktop server and all these databases that I talked about.
Sure. Okay. Yep. So if we have, so then we will be able to cover server as well. In some classes.
Yes.
Okay. That's what we will plan as well.
Yep.
All right. So and
Okay.
we have which one?
Thanks, Pratik.
Is that 9.2?
So yeah, this is the one I have is 9.2. But as I said, probably over the weekend I will do 10. But I think like they both can work
Yeah, I
simultaneously.
think yeah. Yeah, and server has some. So I was going through it, and last 2-3 days. And
Mhm.
desktop, I really do not find any great feature which is even worth mentioning. But server do have some new things, I believe. So yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Fine then.
so we'll
Let's
see.
meet tomorrow then. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
please send the recording. Okay.
Yes, Shri, I will. Yeah.